No matter where you live or where your garden is, there's something each week that I recommend, and that's weeding. And weeding, although it's not my favorite job, I can tell you that, it's something that can be simple, and there's certain tools that can really help you do it easily. And what I always say with weeding, what weeding really is giving your vegetables an unfair advantage. And simply what I mean by that is they're having less competition. If you can give your child an advantage, if you can give a family member an advantage in their life, you do everything you can for your family to give them that extra boost, that extra thing in life to help them out. That's what we're doing with our garden when we weed, is we're giving them an unfair advantage. So let's look at the tools, which are simple, how we can go through and weed each week, help those vegetables have the least amount of competition so they can thrive. Let's take a look. First is the simple garden hoe. This hoe is known by probably 90% of people on earth. How to use it, when to use it. I will say this, the garden hoe is more of the big club or the thing that you're using on a large weed. We used this simple garden hoe for this 1 acre garden. 90% of it was cleared with a hoe. Probably if I had to do it over again, I would put down silage tarp, cut the sunlight off. But my wife and I came out here and cleared this piece of land with a simple hoe, and they work beautifully for really tough weeds that have to be just chopped into and broken up. That's the simple garden hoe. So what's next? What you saw in our opening of this video is the stirrup hoe. The stirrup hoe comes in a lot of different sizes. I think there's one out there that's actually a wheeled stirrup hoe that's used on bigger market gardens. That's like a 10, 11-inch blade. This is a 7-inch blade. We got ours from Johnny Seeds. They're not a sponsor, but that's where we ordered ours. There's a lot of different companies that make the stirrup hoe. They work beautifully for going down, clearing out a row, getting out those weeds right there on the surface. This blade is replaceable. So these that are made really well, this one right here is made out of a steel, and you can see it has that reason it has that action. It moves back and forth through the soil. Is if they're made properly, they will last for years. And again, that's why these blades are replaceable, because all of this mechanism, the handle, the movement here, if they're made properly, they'll last most of your lifetime, and you can just replace the blade. So that's the stirrup hoe. We love those. They do a great job for cleaning out large amount of weeds quickly. Let's see what's next. Next, one of my favorite is the wire weeder. We get these from Neversink Farm, Neversink Tools. We'll put the link in the description. And the wire weeder is kind of unique because it's actually getting seedlings as they germinate. So if you see, this is one of the smaller heads. This particular wire weeder, and there's different companies that make these. As I said, we get these from Neversink Farm. This one's now in its 4th season, absolutely working well. It has a little quick disconnect, so I'm going to take off this small one that you can get into tight spaces. And there's 4 different sizes. This one's great for going down through the middle of rows. So you can see that, and I'll show you here on the screen how it's going through. And when it goes through the soil, it's actually getting those weeds below the surface right as they're germinating and getting them before they even clear the surface. So we love the wire weeders. It keeps those rows clean. You can use it in between rows like you'll see on the screen, which I'm doing now. So that's the wire weeder. And you can see it comes with a little carabiner that has all the different attachments, the different size wires that connect. And it's just a beautiful device for getting those seedlings before they even break the surface. But let's look at one more blade that comes with the wire weeder. Besides the stirrup hoe, what I'm going to show you next is really my favorite blade for getting weeds in tight spots. And it does a good job of getting weeds that have a little bit tougher root system. They're not big weeds, but they're just simple to get. And I need something that's a small little hole to be able to get it. So again, on this attachment here, the wire weeder, you can see I've got the quick disconnect. I'm going to take that wire off, set it here aside, and this is the collinear. The collinear hoe you can get where it's actually just a hoe in and of itself. You don't have to have the quick disconnect type. Different companies sell them, but you can see the blade up close, what it looks like. Very tight, very small. I believe this is the 3.5 inch. So we'll just clip it in there like that. And I love the collinear for just getting into tight spots. and being able to go in and just do touch-up weeding in certain areas. So that is one of my favorite besides a Stirapo. Now let's look at one more device that really keeps the edges tight and tidy in your garden. Let's take a look at that. So this is a edging blade or an edger, whatever you want to call it. You can see it here, how it has this. It has the handle. So it is really easy just to be able to push in. As you'll see here on the screen, I'll show you how it's used. But the reason this is so important, one of the problems we have out here is Bermuda grass creep. It comes in from the sides. It will literally start to overtake our rows. And if you come in with this edger and cut that Bermuda grass off right where it starts to creep in from the sides, you can keep it under control. And this is a tool that I use about every other week. So the last tool I'm going to show you is pretty simple, and you'll probably laugh when I show you, is that your fingers. Is that in a garden that you may have in your backyard, all these tools I've showed you are absolutely great, especially on this 1 acre. We rely on those tools each week to maintain a garden this size, because if we don't go at it each week, clear out those weeds, and the same thing can be true in a small garden, you're eventually going to have weeds that are big. They're taking moisture, they're taking the nutrients away from your plants. And again, as I said at the beginning of this video, we're trying to get rid of those weeds to give your vegetables an unfair advantage. So what we're doing each week, going in, just maintenance, quick. The wire weeder is excellent for that. The little collinear is great for that. The big hoe is good for clearing off large spaces. But in a little garden that's 10 by 10, that's small, you literally can go in each week with your fingers and pick out those weeds that are starting to be a problem. Going down through your rows, it could be something that can be literally done in 20 minutes. So we hope this helps. Again, weeding can be as important as many other things you do in your garden. When you're selecting seeds or watering or putting down compost, the weeding is essential as well. And it can be quick and easy and simple with the right tools. Thanks each week for checking out Whirlwind Family Farm. We appreciate it so much. We always have a couple of good videos you can click on. Not just this one, but there's more content. We have lots of content you can check into to take you further in that gardening process. Blessings over you, your family, and your garden. Talk to you soon from Whirlwind Family Farm.